What's up, everybody? Thank you for coming to this dumb thing that we're doing. You're going to watch me play the greatest game of all time, Superblood Hockey, and talk some trash. It's crazy the shit that you have to do to remain relevant in these times. So I'm really, really bad at technology. It took me and Amanda like 10 hours to figure out how to do this. And hopefully we don't mess it up now. But how it's going to work is I'm going to start playing, and then Amanda, say hi. It's Amanda.
Hello.
She's going to kind of read me questions that you guys have, and maybe I'll answer them and maybe I won't. But I'll try to. So Superblood is the best. It's like an 8-bit hockey game. I never really played video games much growing up. So I can only play really simple shit like this. Nestor and Zach like video games a lot more than I do, but this one's fun and I really miss hockey, so it's kept me kind of sane. So I play in franchise mode. My team is called the Shit Bombs. Yeah. Let's see what's up. Alright. So in franchise mode, you got all these players, and you can change what they eat, what drugs they take. You can give them weed. You can give them steroids. It's pretty fun. So somebody asked if I'd ever be open to playing with a fan on stage. It's actually something that PUP does all the time. We do a thing called PUP karaoke whenever we feel really good about a show. And we bring people up to kind of sing our songs. Also because I don't like singing. I only do it because I have to do it. And I've been playing Superblood for 2 months since this pandemic thing. And I'm pretty good at it because I play it a lot. Yeah. I'm already in the playoffs for this season. Season 8, I'm in the playoffs. We're starting. First team I got to play is North Korea. Apparently they have a hockey team. So that's kind of interesting. All right. So somebody wants to know about the songwriting process. So, okay. First of all, I am the worst multitasker of all time. I cannot do 2 things at once, which is why this is going to be extra funny. So I'm going to start this game, and then I'll try and answer the questions, but I'm going to get really easily distracted. So I'll answer that as soon as we start the game. First, I want to tell you about my sick lineup. I'm putting at center Arnaud Mitz. That's French. That's French for Arnold Mitz. He's my franchise center. He's like the Austin Matthews of his team, Leafs. And then this guy's a playmaker, Mason Patek. So he'll be my Mitch Marner. And then 2 enforcers. Leafs don't really have enforcers, so maybe they're my Kyle Cliffords, my goalie, Freddie Anderson. And let's play. So, songwriting. Kind of changes all the time. Usually in PUP, I'll kind of I usually start with a melody in my head, and then I try to find the right chords to go along with it. And once I've done that, I kind of send the guys, shit, I'm so bad at this. I send them a demo with a, guitar and voice, and if it's any good, they say, this is fine. And then we go into the basement, and everybody kind of puts together their parts, and we work on the song together, and we kind of take it all apart. And by the time we finish, it's a completely different song than the one that I started with, because those guys are also fantastic songwriters. And it's great.
Why does someone throw up in every music video we've ever made?
Why does somebody throw up in every music video we've ever made? Well, barfing's fun. I don't know. Our friend Jeremy does most of our videos, and he has a sick sense of humor. So he's kind of leaned into the barfing thing big time. Yeah. Would I be open to touring with Built to Spill? Yes. For those of you who don't know, Built to Spill is my favorite band in the whole world. They are the reason that I play music and write music.
What's your favorite song?
My favorite song that I've ever written is probably Scorpion Hill. I really like that song. That was like one of the weird songs for me. Oh, wait, hold on. We gotta fight. I gotta pay attention. I'm gonna kill this guy. Yeah! Smoked him! Hold on, let's see what he died of. Or if he died. Mangled intestines. What were we talking about? What was the question?
Shit. Your favorite song?
My favorite song I wrote was Scorpion Hill. That was a weird one that just kind of fell out of me complete, which never happens. That's only happened like a couple times, and usually those are the best songs, so pretty happy with that. And my favorite song to play live is Full Blown Meltdown. I like screaming about how shitty the music industry is, and yeah, it's great. Most fun video to make? I think the most fun one and the one that I'm most proud of is Free at Last. I don't know if anybody in the chat submitted a song for that, but that was so much fun. I just had a great time doing it, watching everybody's versions, and then it was just the four of us and Amanda and Jeremy just like being stupid with a green screen, which was just like, what more can you ask for? Get paid to be an idiot with your friends. Pandemic. The question was weirdest thing that's ever happened during a tour, and it has to be pandemic. But you know, when we go on tour, when we started touring, we were pretty fun. Like, we were really excited to go on tour. I mean, we still are really excited, but then we just kind of like, we realized after the first couple tours where we were partying all the time that if we wanted to do this full time, we couldn't like be crazy every night. So we kind of mellowed out a bit. So now we only get crazy once or twice a week. So touring now is a lot mellower than it used to be. Holy shit, these guys are killing me.
You were a hot dog.
Mustard. And look at that. Won another fight. Wait, hold on. Ugh. Look at this guy just bleeding on the ice. Okay, yes, question, Amanda. Mabu is a 1997 Toyota Camry. For those of you who don't know, Mabu was the first car I owned. And it's a car that, like, me and my sister, my mom gave it to me and my sister, and we drove across the country in it several times. Had lots of fun memories. And then I drove it in a demolition derby. So that was cool too. That was one, you know, driving in a demolition derby was actually one of the craziest things I've done as a band guy. It's really messed up. Just getting in 1,000 crashes in the span of 5 minutes. Thanks for being patient with me because I'm so bad at multitasking, but I just scored a goal. My big enforcer, Edward Palms. In English, that's Edward Apples. I am a Leafs fan. I'm a huge Leafs fan. I'm not really into any other sports. I just like hockey, but I've been a Leafs fan my whole life. And yeah, I'm also, hold on, pausing this, Saskatoon Blades fan, WHL, and Sudbury Wolves. Those are my 3 teams. Oh boy, I gotta see a picture. You can't just name something without seeing it. I started playing guitar when I was 14, and I used to play in a really bad ska band. And when I was 14, I picked up the guitar, and then a month later, we booked a show, which was really stupid because I still didn't really know how to play guitar. And I got up there in front of like 80 of my friends and just embarrassed us all, and it was great. But, you know, trial by fire. I'm a little bit better now, but really not that much better. I still feel like I'm a terrible guitar player, but lucky for me, Steve is a pretty incredible guitar player, and actually, So is Nestor. Most people don't know that, but Nestor shreds at the guitar. He's a guitar player before he plays bass. Okay, break away. Modest Mouse? Yeah, I like Modest Mouse. They're cool. They're in the same vein as Built to Spill, so they were kind of one of the bands that I was listening to a bunch when I was started writing songs. And
Worst injury you ever had on tour or off tour?
Worst injury I've ever had on tour or off tour. On tour is my vocal cord thing, which we've all heard a million times about, so that's boring. I wish we could pull it up on the screen, but I've had a bunch of concussions, and one time Amanda and I were at an old like baseball diamond, and it was like late at night, and I was drunk, and I decided to like run the bases and slide into home, and I slid elbow first, and it just like mangled my whole elbow. And that night I realized that Amanda is a complete badass, because we had a bottle of vodka, and she just grabbed my arm and dumped the vodka on it to clean it out, and then ripped my t-shirt off, ripped the sleeve off it, and tied it up. So that was pretty cool. She's badass. I wish I could tell these stories better while I'm playing hockey, but holy crap, I'm so bad at focusing.
Your favorite Norman story?
Favorite Norman story. Norman, for those of you who don't know, is my baby Chameleon, who is no longer with us. My favorite Norman story was actually like the story of how I got Norman and met Norman. We were making the music video for Mabu, which was the one where I drive the car in a demolition derby. And we decided, our friend Menno directed that video. Oh, I just won the game. And we decided that we were just going to have a bunch of reptiles in the video for no specific reason. And then I was so sad. We had a funeral for my car Mabu. And I was actually like so distraught and sad. And I was holding this chameleon for the video, and I like fell in love with it. It was like filling the car-sized hole in my heart. So I didn't plan on having a chameleon, but at that moment I just kind of like had to. I called my roommates and I was like, I own a chameleon now. And I had no clue how to take care of them, and so I learned pretty fast. They're pretty hard animals to take care of. So question is the weirdest place I've ever slept on tour, and that's kind of relates to that song Scorpion Hill. It was a place in Portland. It was like this weird squat house that this guy, I don't know, it was I feel like I described it best in Scorpion Hill. But we got to this guy's house, and he had like a shag carpet that was really dirty, and there was like toenail clippings and needles in it, and you know, like cigarette butts everywhere, and it all just kind of smelled like ass. And Zach and I slept in the basement on this like in this concrete box, and the room was just filled with like old Subway sandwich wrappers that were just rotting, and it was really truly horrible. And we just kind of like were judging this guy. Like, we slept in a lot of punk squats, and we were used to that kind of thing. But this was definitely the worst one ever, and we were kind of like judging this guy. And then on our way out in the morning, at like 5 in the morning, we woke up to just like get the fuck out of there. And on our way out, we saw on his fridge a picture of what looked to be like his 6-year-old son or something. And it was pretty messed up. Sorry, this got really dark. It just kind of made me think about how everybody's got their own issues, and I can judge them as much as I want, but I don't know shit about this guy. So,
deep analysis of ska as a genre.
Ska as a genre. Okay, I used to be the biggest ska fan in the world. When I was like 15, I knew everything about it. I stopped playing ska and listening to ska because it's dumb and it sucks. Jeff Rosenstock would disagree with me and maybe be angry with me for saying that, but the thing about ska is there's only like 2 strum patterns. It's chka chicka or boom chicka boom chicka. And there's like or ba da ba 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 ba. And there's only so much you can do with that stuff. So once I had written like 5 ska songs, I was like, okay, I've written every ska song there is to write at the end. Hold on. First of all, I gotta no more questions for 1 second. I'm back in franchise mode. It's pretty awesome. It's like I send my players to like work out or whatever. Oh, this is my trophy room. All the championships I've won. And kind of one of the great things about this game is like you can give your players weed if they're like getting too crazy, or you can give them steroids if they suck and you need them to get better faster. So I'm gonna find one of my players and give them some stuff. Steroids are bad. Weed is not bad, but this guy kind of sucks. So I'm gonna give him some drugs, steroids. He feels great. See? Let's see. There's nobody that I really need to give weed because everybody. How it works with weed in this game is you give it to them, and then they heal their injuries faster. But also, they suck at fighting because it makes you a useless pacifist. Weed does, I should say. So I'm gonna give this guy weed. He doesn't need it, but just have some fun with this thing. Far out, man. All right. Okay. Amanda says there's a bunch of questions about when we're going to tour next, and you know as well as I do. I would love to get back on the road. We really like touring. And it's the only way that we make money. So it would be nice to do it again because I love doing it and I love getting paid. But my guess, and I'm a pessimist, but my guess would be that until there's a vaccine, probably we're not going to have 1,000 people in a room at the same time. But hopefully when it comes back, we'll go really hard and it'll be a lot of fun and everybody will be really, have a great cathartic release from being pent up with all that energy.
Your least favorite sandwich meat?
Least favorite sandwich meat is bologna. That stuff is, how do you say it? Bologna? Bologna? It's gross. Tried it once, never again.
On the spot, a favorite DIY
Favorite DIY music video? Well, it's hard to say what is actually DIY these days, but one of the great music videos is there's a band called Red Fang. They make amazing videos. They have a song called The Wire, and the music video for that is amazing. Actually, most of their videos are amazing, but that one in particular I love. How do I get my voice to sound how it does when I sing? I don't know. It's always kind of come out of me that way. I have a vocal coach now because I fucked up my vocal cords, so he teaches me kind of just how not to mess my vocal cords up more than they already are, but I think I just started yelling and these were the sounds that came out and it was cool. I didn't start as the singer for this band, actually. I was writing songs, but I wanted somebody else to sing them. And then I just ended up being the singer by default because we couldn't find anybody in time to record an album. Alright, I can talk about hockey. Alright. How did we discover Rat Boys? One time we played this festival. It was a small festival. I forget where it was. I think it was in Michigan somewhere. And they were on the bill. And I saw them. Are you going to talk to me now?
No, I just remember.
Yeah, I really love that band. After we saw them that night, we knew that we would love to tour with them. They're so good. And they're such great people, too, which is, for us, such an important part of touring. Like, you have to spend so much time with these people. You want to make sure that you're on tour with good people that you like, who have similar values to you.
Advice for viewers
Advice for a chameleon owner. Oh my god. First of all, don't have a chameleon. Next piece of advice is do all your research. There's a lot to know. Like if you have like a female chameleon, like when they get to a certain age, you have to lay out sand for them so that they can lay their eggs. Otherwise, they won't do it, and they'll keep their eggs inside and get sick. So just read as much as you can, because it's not like I thought it was going to be like owning a gecko, but it is not like that. Favorite TV show? Better Call Saul is pretty awesome. We just finished Parks and Rec yesterday, which is really hilarious. And oh yeah, cool. I just started watching that Michael Jordan documentary, which I really like. I like sports documentaries.
Okay, there are 2 questions that just keep happening, and you gotta say.
Okay, tell me what the question is.
Are you ever gonna come to Wales?
Are we ever gonna come to Wales? Probably one day.
And are you ever gonna go to South America?
Are we ever gonna go to South America? Yes. Okay. South America is something that we've been trying to do for many years now. Same with Japan. And it's unfortunately never worked out, but I have complete faith that it will. I would not consider owning a tarantula. No, that sounds terrible. I'm like kind of like I love animals and I love like weird reptiles, but I think I'm done with that part of my life aside from dogs. I just want a bunch of dogs in my life. I don't want to answer that one. I don't want to answer that one. Okay, one of the questions was, do I ever have doubts that that people who like this band won't like specific songs that we've written? And yes, it's something that you definitely think about, but I try to think about that as little as possible because I don't want to get too in my own head. Too in my own head about like what people are going to like and dislike. I mean, we had really low expectations of this band from the beginning, and it has more or less worked out for us. So whatever we're kind of doing seems to be right, and don't really want to start jinxing it by worrying too much about what people think. Go! You guys like hockey or what? What kind of dog? I really like pit bulls. I like blue heelers, and I like huskies. Amanda has a husky. His name is Toby. He's like one of the greatest dogs in the world. Is Byfield the real deal? Yes, finally a hockey question. Oh shit. Those of you who don't know, probably most of you don't know, Quinton Byfield plays for the Sudbury Wolves. He's the number 2 prospect in this year's draft, and he's awesome. We went to see a Wolves game this winter, and he scored a hat trick, and I went off. My hat was the first one on the ice. I was stoked. He's awesome. Favorite hockey player of all time is actually not a Leaf, even though I love the Leafs. It's Paul Kariya. Mostly played for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Sick player, small guy. I'm very small, so I like the small players who are like fast and shifty. I really like Mitch Marner on the Leafs because he is like child-sized and just an amazing player. How do the Leafs fix their blue line? Oh, good question. Those of you who don't follow hockey, the Leafs are a fantastic hockey team, but their defense sucks. And I think how they fix their blue line is to stop worrying about who's playing right D and who's playing left D. Just put out your best defenseman, and they'll be fine. They need to make a couple trades, maybe trade Janssen or Kapanen and get a better defenseman, and then they'll be fine. Favorite enforcer? I'm not an enforcer guy. Favorite Mighty Ducks movie? I like that question. Okay, Mighty Ducks 2 is amongst the greatest movies of all time. I feel like they really found their legs there. They play in that movie. They Team Iceland are the bad guys. I guess they just chose a country that like is like so innocuous. They didn't want to make like Germany the bad guys or like or like Canada the bad guys. So they just made Iceland like no one hates Icelandic people, so they made them the bad guys. Question is, do I watch Steve Dangle? Steve Dangle is probably my favorite hockey personality. He's a YouTuber who has a really great podcast with a guy named Adam Wilde and a guy named Jesse Blake, and their podcast. If you're deep into hockey the way I am, the podcast is incredible, and I recommend it. Have I ever played hockey? Yes. I used to play a lot when I was a kid. I played in a few leagues. I played until I was about 14, and when I was 14, I got maybe the third or fourth concussion playing hockey that I had, and I went to see my doctor, and he was like, "All right, you're too small. Stop playing." So I listened to him, but my brain is still a little mushy, I think. I feel like I have a bit of mush brain, and I don't know if it's from concussions or because I smoked too much weed when I was really young, which I don't recommend. I think it's probably a bit of both, but I'm doing all right. I'm getting through it. All right. Yeah, pass. All right, I have one more game. It's a gold medal championship game. I should also point out that I'm playing as Team Canada, and Team Canada, for whatever reason, are green. I don't quite understand that. Maybe it's something that the people at Superblood Hockey could get on.
What's your dad the coach? Was it coach the Leafs?
Somebody asked if my dad was the coach of the Leafs and what was it like when my dad was the coach of the Leafs. Yes, my dad was the coach of the Leafs. Mike Babcock. No, he just has the same last name as me. But actually, strangely, Mike Babcock looks like an uglier version of my father, Brian Babcock. And me and my friends got in the habit of calling Mike Babcock Dad just because it was easier that way. And when my real father heard me say that, he was not too pleased. So yeah, fuck Mike Babcock and like Brian Babcock forever, coolest dad. Sure. Somebody's asking for tips for musicians who are starting out. Don't pay attention to any of the bullshit. Don't pay attention to the industry. Don't pay attention to what you think is cool. Don't try to like come up with kooky marketing plans. That stuff will all come, and it will all be very annoying in your life when it does come. Focus on just playing all the time. Practice with your bandmates as much as you can. Play as many shows as you can, even if the shows suck. It doesn't matter. Just play your ass off. And also, if your bandmates, if you don't get along with your bandmates, or they're not like, willing to work as hard as you, get rid of them. They might be your friends. They can be your friends forever, but they're not the right people to be in a band with. I got really lucky because I was in a band. I was in a couple bands before PUP, and with friends of mine, people that I really liked, but it didn't really work musically. And I was really lucky to find those three guys who have the same values as me and work hard and are great musicians and just kind of wanted to do this as much as I wanted to do this. So yeah, I'm lucky to have those guys around. Question was, yeah. The question was who would I rather the Leafs lose to in the playoffs? Edmonton Oilers or the Boston Bruins? fuck the Boston Bruins. I say that because I'm a bitter Toronto fan, and Boston has just dominated our team, embarrassed my team for the past 6 years, and I'm sick of it, and I want revenge. Also, if we lost the Edmonton Oilers, that would mean that the Leafs made it to the Stanley Cup Finals, and that would be most of a dream come true. I'd rather they make it that far. Leafs are going to win the Cup one day. They haven't won for 50 years, and when it happens, it's going to be nuts in Toronto. Favorite Built to Spill album and song. Favorite Built to Spill album is There's Nothing Wrong with Love. That is my absolute favorite album ever. When I heard it the first time, I didn't know that music could sound like that. And it doesn't sound all that crazy. It's just like I had only heard stuff on the radio that was kind of poppy and polished. And then I heard this thing which was kind of scrappy and shittily recorded. But the songs were great, and it made me realize, oh, you can still do this. You can still, sound scrappy, and people will like it, and you don't have to worry about being this, polished radio thing. So, yeah, it's great. My favorite meal. If I told you, I'd have to rip your tongue out. My favorite meal is an Egyptian thing. I'm half Egyptian, and my mom makes the best Egyptian food. So it's all crazy things. It's called Wada Anab and Marachaya. What inspired Little Dipper? Little Dipper is this little DIY label that I'm running. The thing with PUP is that we started off very much as a DIY band. But the truth is we're not a DIY band anymore. We just have a lot of people that work with us, a lot of really great people. We have we have a few managers who are all amazing, and agents and all that stuff, which is kind of I never thought we would have that. And Little Dipper is kind of just our way to sort of hold on to a little bit of those DIY roots and those DIY past, because it is really important to us, and it's important to me to remain in creative control of our career, and it just kind of helps us do that. I have a lot of guitars. I actually had not owned a guitar that was worth more than $500 until a year ago, and now I own 2 guitars that are a fair bit more expensive than that. I own a Bartlett guitar. This is a guy from Guelph who makes these awesome guitars. Check him out. And I own an E.B. Rooster guitar. Both were custom built. E.B. Rooster is a guy from Nashville. I'm very proud of those. And it's back there. I have a yellow guitar named Matilda that I play live a lot. My friend Ryan gave that guitar to me because he just thought I would make more use of it than him, and that's one of the nicest things anyone's ever done for me. And yeah, I try to play it every day, even though it's not, technically the best guitar I have. I have a special connection with it. Yeah, okay, so the question was, were there any songs that I didn't expect to become fan favorites that became fan favorites? Yeah, I think one of them is Scorpion Hill. We kind of, we all love that song, but we all had this kind of a bit of a worry that people weren't going to like it, or it wasn't going to go well live, just because it's a bit different from our other stuff. So we thought about that a lot when we were getting ready to tour Morbid stuff. But it ended up being probably, one of the most well-received songs live, and it's so fun for us to play, so that was a nice surprise. Nobody liked Bloody Mary, Kate and Ashley, which is probably my second favorite song on Morbid stuff. So that was a bit of a bummer that nobody liked that song live, but it's okay. We still played it once in a while. You have to do some selfish shit for yourself sometimes. Somebody asked if I prefer my current quarantine haircut over my old one, and the answer is definitely not. I look like an idiot. I shaved my head. Amanda helped me with the back. It sucks ass, and I can't wait to not have it anymore. I was gonna wear a hat for this thing, but Amanda was making fun of me too much, so she's like, stop being a coward, show the people your head. So here we are. I think I already answered that. It's the most fun song to play live is Familiar Patterns, for me. Hold on, I'm fighting. Yeah, hold on. Why don't we play Never Try anymore? Well, that question is incorrect because there's no anymore. We never played Never Try. The reason why we never play Never Try is that I'm ashamed of it. I think all 4 PUP members are ashamed of it. I appreciate it if you like it. That's like super nice. But we all hate that song. We think it's garbage. And also, we kind of like got pushed in a weird way on our first record to make that the single. We were still kind of impressionable at that point. We weren't as good at sticking to our guns as we are now, and we kind of got bullied into try to like make that a radio song, and we just hated it so much. And we kind of learned a lesson from that we don't give a shit about what is a radio song and what is not, or what other people tell us to do artistically. We're just going to do whatever we do, and hopefully people will like it. Quarantine. Oh man, I have a lot of books that I love. It's kind of a tough question, but House of Leaves is amazing if you like horror. That's one of my favorite books. What else? Oh, I just finished a pop lit book, which is not usually what I read, but it's really good. It's called Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. Is that right? Yeah, Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, and I found it to be a very heartwarming read. I liked it a lot. Also a very dark, bleak read. Wow. All right, the question. How did you write Can't Win? It sounds like a song written by a middle-aged man. Well, thank you very much. Oh, shit. See, that question fucked me up now. I lost the fight. It's bullshit. Can't... Oh, shit. My franchise player got a contused spleen, so now he's out of the game. That sucks. I don't know what that means. Can't Win. If I had to choose the song, if we all had to choose the song that, the second song that we don't like, the first one being Can't Win, first one being Never Try, our second least favorite song as a band would be Can't Win. And I gotta go. Just felt like it doesn't fit in on The Dream Is Over. But again, I really appreciate it. If you like that song, I'm not judging you. That's awesome that you like any of our garbage music. Oh my god. What is Jeff Rosenstock like in person? Jeff is one of the nicest, best people ever. It's not an act. He is the person that he appears to be, and that is really, that's really incredible. Question is, would I ever do music for a video game? The answer is absolutely yes. I love writing music. I love writing songs. I do a lot of it. I write a lot of songs that are not PUP songs. Shit, I lost that fight again. I write a lot of songs that aren't PUP songs. And I just wrote a theme song for my friend's podcast. I just love writing music, so if I ever get a job writing music for absolutely anything, I will be stoked. And I just won the gold medal of the whole season. Steffi's shit bombs. Tight. Question was, are there any lyrical lines in our songs that I'm particularly proud of? There's a few that I kind of think I suck at most things, and I think a lot of my lyrics kind of suck. But there's a few that I really love. One is the second verse of "Kids," where I'm pretty much just quoting Amanda, where it's your little songs are getting way too literal. How about some goddamn subtlety for a change? I thought that was a pretty funny thing to throw in. And in Full Blown Meltdown, I kind of struggled writing the lyrics for Full Blown Meltdown because it's sort of a call out song on the music industry, but also I needed to call myself out because I feel a little bit of guilt or weirdness about the fact that I've made a living off of being a miserable piece of shit. So in that song I say, I forget what I say. Doesn't matter. But I like the lyrics of that song because I felt like I appropriately called myself out along with all the people that pissed me off. All right, we can keep talking for a few more minutes. I'm done playing this game. Hold on, let's go look at the trophy first of all. Somebody asked if there's any tips on buying your first van. This is a question I presume from a band person who's buying their first band so they can go on tour. Yes. Don't cheap out. I know it's really hard, but scrape together the money that you need to buy something reliable. The first van that we, the first van that we ever owned, we called the Sugar Van. We bought it from a junkyard. It had, it was a Red Path Sugar Van, which I don't know if Red Path is an international company, but it's a sugar company in Canada. And it said Red Path on the side, and we literally pulled it out of a junkyard and like tried to fix it up. And so we took it on our first ever tour, and 4 hours into the first drive of our first ever tour, it broke down, and we took it to them. And then friends of ours, a band called Colorado from Toronto, were nice enough to lend us their van for the rest of the tour, or they lent us their van for about a week or two, which was amazingly nice, and we went and bought a real van that actually was not from a junkyard after that. Plans, somebody asked if I have plans to release a solo project. Yes and no. It's a yes one day for sure. I've been writing a lot of songs that are not PUP songs. Hold on. Let's look at this trophy first of all. Gold medal, first place, season 8, type. I'm gonna answer that question, but first I'm gonna see if I can just make this screen with me on it a bit bigger. If I can figure out how to do that, that will be cool. Let's see. Okay. I think I made it bigger. I don't know. I suck at tech stuff, so whatever. Maybe I didn't make it bigger. I don't know. Sorry, what was the question? I'm really bad at multitasking. Can't figure this out. Oh, the question was solo project. Yeah, so I have written a bunch of songs that don't fit in with what PUP is about. But one thing that I feel weird about with solo projects is that I feel like a lot of the time, like when singers write solo projects or you know, like main songwriters of the band write solo projects, they just end up sounding like a shittier version of their own band. And I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what a solo thing would sound like before I even think about releasing anything. But hopefully one day. Hopefully one day. Yeah, I don't know. Before I release a solo project, I am absolutely gonna release 1 and possibly 2 comic books. which I've been working on 2 of them pretty hard. One of them is a shorter one, is close to completion, and I got a longer one that's kind of like a never-ending grind of a project for me. Have I listened to Y'all Ever? Yes, I have. Y'all Ever is a podcast by my friend Dave Ross, and I wrote the theme music for it. The theme music is actually a ska song. I gave him like 5 options. I was like, here's a punk song you can use, here's a ska song, here's a folk song. You know, I gave him like all these different options, and he went for the ska one. I was like secretly a little disappointed, but now I'm pretty stoked that he ended up using it. Somebody asked what my comics are about. So the big book that I'm working on, which I don't know when that's going to be done. I imagine it's going to be like a year or more. Is a book. It's a Steffi cartoon comic. I don't know if anyone's seen the little cartoons that I sometimes post on Instagram, but they're more or less stories about adventures I've had with my sister, mostly like in the wilderness, and fucked up shit I've gotten myself into. I have a lot of funny stories about being in bad situations because I'm an idiot, and I think they're worth telling, so I'm trying to do that. And the one that I'm almost finished, I want to tell you what it's about, because it's gonna be ready soon enough, and we can all see it then. I wish I could make this screen bigger. What are they asking? About Steffi tattoos. Just when I'm going to do them again? People are asking when I'm going to do Steffi tattoos again. I'm not sure. That's kind of a thing, like I'm really happy. I didn't really know when I first did them if anyone was going to give a shit or want to do it. I'm really happy that that was a project that kind of took off. I'm glad that people are so into the Steffi tattoos. But it's also so much work to draw a custom image for every single person. So I kind of only do that when I'm bored or when I like really am feeling like I need some inspiration to start drawing again. It's just too much work and pressure for me. So I will do it at some point. I'll do it again. And I think I'm just going to maybe start doing it like putting up 5 Steffi tattoos at a time for sale and just tweeting like there are 5 available. Because last time there were 100 Steffi tattoos to draw, and that was really tough.
Why did you put butter in your smoothie?
Somebody's asking why I put butter in my smoothie, because why not? Like, live on the wild side. It was pretty good. I didn't finish it because I felt gross, but it tasted all right, I gotta say. Somebody asked where can they see my drawings. I have some in my Instagram highlights that you can check out. Where else? That's it. Instagram highlights. That's all. I haven't posted. I posted one for Earth Day a couple weeks ago, but I haven't posted it beyond that anything for a long while. But maybe I'll post a comic this weekend or something, just because.
Zach is bothering me.
Apparently Zach Buttlips is bothering me. What's he saying?
I know you just said I'm going to tell Stefan I'm bothering him.
Zach is just chirping me. Hi, Zach. Zach plays drums in PUP, in case you didn't know. Pizza or spaghetti? My answer all day is spaghetti. That's an unpopular opinion, probably, but spaghetti and meatballs. After those Egyptian foods that I talked about earlier, spaghetti and meatballs are my favorite food. I'm going to keep trying to make this screen bigger, but I'll keep talking.
What do you like to do in your free time?
What do I like to do in my free time? I play Superblood. I play a lot of Superblood. And I watch a lot of hockey. And I go camping a lot. I like canoeing and hiking and all that stuff, so I spend a lot of time outside. And that's about it. I draw and I play music. In my time off, I play music. No, pass on that one. I'm sorry, everybody. I can't figure out how to make this screen bigger, so we're just going to have to live with it. No, not answering that one. How do I watch hockey on the road? Illegally, mostly. Somebody asked who my favorite photographer is. Her name is Amanda Fotes. That's her. She's also my life partner, so I'm obliged to say that. But she's very good. It feels like I've been here for almost an hour, and I can't figure out how to get this screen any bigger. So yeah, I think that's probably about it. But I really appreciate you guys watching this very stupid live stream. Like I said at the beginning, like, man, it's so weird being in a band right now when you can't be in a band, can't tour. I can't even see my bandmates. It's really shitty. But it's shitty for everybody. I'm definitely not a special case here. But thank you for watching this dumb live stream. We have to do whatever we can to sort of stay connected and be creative. And I think we've got some ideas cooking between the four of us. So hopefully there'll be more live streaming soon. And if you want to see Zach do a live stream of Zelda or Animal Crossing, or if you want to see Amanda do an Animal Crossing stream, please start bugging them. As stupid as this, but probably a bit better. All right, that's it. Thanks, guys. See you when I see ya.